one of the most telling things is this active avoidance, which I will translate roughly to mean collusion, silent collusion. They didn't want to know. The Prime Minister did not want to publish this report. He does not want an inquiry, even now. This isn't just not wishing to know. This is something more serious than that. And I do believe that the Brexit vote was contaminated by some illegalities and some dirty tricks. We can't run it again.
Right.
But I think it would be wrong to say it was a clean vote.
Well, because it was so tight, the Brexit result, anything significant done by Russia could be said to have pushed it over the edge. And Lowri, I'm going to suggest if that's the case, we're going to have to run it again.
No.
We're going to have
the
to.
The country couldn't survive that. I have to say, you can't run a vote again with the idea something might have happened. At the moment, there is no evidence.
No evidence.
No, there isn't.
It's like saying there's no evidence my house is on fire. Yeah. You've never seen it.
We are in an era where we're told that everything has to be based on science and evidence and data. That's the era we're in. And now all of a sudden, there might have been Russian collusion. We don't know. Yes, they didn't.
You want this old Inspector Clouseau thing. You want the bank robbery to happen in front of you, don't you?
I think we can't change a whole vote because something might have happened. We don't know something.
However,
the
difference being is when it's presented to the government. Sorry, Yasmin. When it's presented to the government that we think we have to investigate this, and then the government say, no, I don't think
I think it's also the government. It's about the security services. There's a whole low range of agencies mentioned in this report who none of them did the
Yasmin, come back in.
Sorry, Lowri. Sorry. You cannot keep on defending this record. It does not behove you. It's in your interest as a Brexiter to be sure that this thing was a clean vote. We need to know. Do you know, we would not tolerate this in football. We would not tolerate these rule-breaking illegalities in cricket.
Why don't you want to run it again?
But we do in politics.
I think this, unfortunately, this for those people who voted to remain. This is yet another possibility for them to patronise those who voted leave. So actually, you didn't really vote. It was all Russians who did it, despite the fact there's no evidence that the Russians did it at all.
Well, you say no evidence. This is the same as you saying there's no dirt under my rug at home. And I say, well, have you lifted the rug up? And you say, no, I haven't.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what you're doing.
I understand, but you can't rerun
You've got to lift the rug up.
You can't, it wasn't done. I'm not defending the fact it wasn't done, but there is currently no evidence that Russia interfered or that we interfered decisively.
Well, that's not true because they've located that there was 45,000 tweets from Russian-based Twitter accounts,
botting
48 hours prior to the referendum vote.
The whole point about this report was to look whether was there Russian interference.
So
and the report said
the question is
there is no evidence
why don't
there was
the government
Russian
interference?
All right, I see. I see how this is going, Yasmin. That the Brexiteers are going to say there's no evidence. So everyone,
there is no evidence.
Everyone calm down.
Saying it.
Well, there's plenty of circumstantial evidence.
That's not good enough, is it?
I think Brexiteers, I don't think that things should be rerun because there would be a civil war because of people like Lowri, okay? But I think even she should care that their vote was clean and that our democracy should not be corrupted. Our democracy is now being kneecapped by this.
I just think that there's no such thing as a totally clean election. I think there's interference in all elections. There was interference in the Scottish referendum, for example.
Yes.
Do we rerun that as well?
Well, but that seems to have gone against Russia. Because Russia, it is thought, if they intervene...
but it doesn't matter who is it in favour of. Was there interference or not?
Russia lost.
That's right, Russia lost.
If there's proof, and Yasmin wants there to be proof, if there's proof, then we act on it. At the moment, there is no proof.
Well, I mean, as I say, it is like saying the best way to stop a bank robbery is just to pull the blinds down, don't look at it.
If you've got no evidence that bank robbery happened, then why not would you investigate?
There's the result, might be evidence.
The result might be a democratic vote where the majority of those who voted voted legally.
Well, what if it's 50%?
Are we not allowed to have a democratic vote?
Okay.
Well, we're going to go straight to the phones and speak to Lawrence from Kent, who thinks Russia were aiding the Leave campaign.
So you think they might have given Brexit a shove, Lawrence?
Oh, definitely Russia gave Brexit a shove because it's in their benefit for us to be split away from the EU. It makes the EU a little bit weaker weaker, and it makes us weaker. And Lowri, I'm sorry, but you're an ostrich. You're sticking your head in the dirt, in the sand, and going like, no, no, nothing's happening. You know, you have to see things.
Are you not evidence-based?
Yeah. Where's the evidence? Lots of things could have happened.
You've not been looking for it.
Right. Well, therefore...
Neither's the government.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you say about
Lawrence,
influencing...
I'm not half-witted. If you shout at me, I don't understand you better. I simply don't happen to agree with you. The problem with Remainers is they don't accept that some of us don't agree. That's all. For different opinion, Lawrence, and that's okay.
No. See, you're saying that there was no influence. Well, I'm sorry, but there's
I'm not. I'm saying there's no evidence, Lawrence.
People buy things.
There's no evidence, Lawrence. That's all.
Yeah, I think Lawrence, Larry's not going to believe it until Putin walks in here.
No, that's unfair.
And says,
no.
He's going to actually have to say, yes, it was me.
No, Lawrence thinks if he just speaks really slowly and really loudly, he can kind of bully me into agreeing with him. I don't agree with you, Lawrence.
No,
he's being... No, the tone of voice was
the customer is king round here. No, it was
so rude.
No, it was not. Lawrence, thank you for your call.
Yes,
don't mind her. Storm.
Really?
Listen, the customer is king.
Calm down,
no,
dear.
but listen, you also presumed he's a Remainer.
Oh, come on.
He might not be.
Really?
Okay, Lawrence, you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Are you a Brexiteer or a Remainer?
I'm a Remainer.
Okay, all right. I was trying to help you there, my friend. You blew it. Storm.
We're going to speak to Rob from Somerset now, who thinks Russians are not to blame. It's the public that wanted to leave the EU.
Right. Well, that's the key point, Rob, isn't it? That maybe actually most people in this country want it out, and that's the only thing that matters.
No, I think, Jeremy, that the media, and it's on the whole, the media, give the great British public a great disservice. And let's face facts. If Brexit had been won by 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, Remainers who are Ramoners, like your man Lawrence that was just on the phone, would be crying for decades. And I'd just like to say, I would not want to be playing Monopoly with Lawrence and Yasmin because they'd be demanding investigations for everything. It's always somebody else's fault.
Well, but the thing is, well, go on, Yasmin, you answer that.
It's not me asking for investigation. An entire report came out yesterday by sensible MPs of all parties. And if you're telling me that you don't care about that, then you don't care about democratic oversight.
I care a great deal about democratic oversight, Yasmin. I think the people that despise democracy are people that don't accept the result. Once the result was in, the establishment was so shocked, the first thing that came back
So you're going to ignore the report?
Referendum. It was an advisory referendum. Every excuse in the book you guys would be peddling for decades.
Yeah, but Rob, it is quite serious.
Are you going to ignore the report yesterday?
If Russia got involved in the whole swirl of Brexit, and if they were doing the cyber bots and the this and the that, and they pushed that 1 or 2% made the difference, now that would be worrying, wouldn't it?
Jeremy, let me ask you a question. You're prevalent on social media. I've been following you for years, talking to you on your radio show for years, and recently on your TV show. Absolutely.
Okay.
If someone started tweeting you lots of things, would it change your opinion overnight? Would it change your opinion after 3 or 6 months?
If they kept tweeting, person. Oh, I see what you mean. If I was on the receiving end of a Russian bot,
absolutely. You've got your own mind, your own intelligence. You grew up in the great journalistic training city of Coventry, my old poaching ground. Come on.
No, of course, yes, of course, it would not. Maybe I'd like to think it wouldn't, but there can be ways of people being influenced without even realising. I don't know. Rob, thank you. That's a very good thought.
But I think what we also have to look at, I'm not saying that we need another referendum, even if they do go ahead with the investigation. But what I think the inquiry needs to do is to make sure that if this did happen, and if we can prove that it did, then we must make sure that it doesn't happen again. We have to protect our democracy at all costs.
But there's only one. This is 1 in 100 years. That's the trouble with it. We only got one shot.
Every 4 years.
No, but this is the Brexit thing's bigger than anything we've voted on for centuries. Storm.
We're going to speak to Yvonne now from Kent, who thinks the Russians weren't involved in the decision for Brexit. It was made democratically. So,
Yvonne, you agree with Rob that it doesn't matter how many silly bots they're throwing at us. In the end, you made your own decision.
Yes, I certainly made my own decision. Nobody is going to change my mind for me. All I have to listen to is a lot of people. Please accept my apology. No, not an apology. I am listening to television and watching television with a lot of people telling me that my country has been spoiled by some other country. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
Right. So
how do you know that, Yvonne?
There are millions of us in the country who made the decision on our own. We're not stupid.
Yeah, but the thing is that we don't. Social media is a big influencer. I don't know if you're on Facebook and stuff.
Oh, no.
You're not, right? Well, now, how about that, Yasmin? If Yvonne is not in Facebook, she can't have been influenced by a Russian.
Yeah, maybe. But what is stopping this government actually investigating what is in this substantial report that came out yesterday? I keep going back to the report, right? People like me didn't write the report. It wasn't written by Remainers. It was written by honourable people doing the right thing. So why won't Boris Johnson investigate this? Why didn't he look into it then? Why did they avoid it if there was nothing there?
Right. Maybe we're not bothered. Is it possible?
We're in the middle of a pandemic.
We are
I think it all seems like, can we just get to the end of this year? Frankly?
Yeah, and maybe this is a new thing, right? That everyone's using cyber. Okay, we maybe lost one along the way. And can we just say maybe that's life?
Yeah, and maybe, a lot of the lords have, investments and business interests in Russia as well.
Hang on a second. As I said, it got slightly drowned out. New Labour cozied up to Russian oligarchs. It wasn't so it's both sides.
I support Chelsea. It's owned by one of them.
I said Lords, House of Lords. I wasn't specific as to where, what party. But I'm saying that you can tell that within the government, there are interests in Russia that are monetary.
A good point. Storm, any messages?
Yes, lots coming in on this. So, Craigie on Twitter says, a few fake news posts on Facebook or a few on Twitter are not going to sway 1.3 million people to change the outcome of the referendum. Melissa tells us, I'd like to see an investigation into how Russian influences have affected our country and voting systems over the last few years. We wouldn't be a democratic country if there was an outside influence with an ulterior motive.
I wish the report yesterday had said a bit more about what actually happened instead of complaining that nobody's looked at what's actually happened, because that's their job.